I'm not always going to narrate these videos, but this is the first one, so I want to give you some idea as to what's happening so you know what to watch for. My video editor does a pretty good job, but you'll see the market just opened. I placed an order. I had to do a limit order in this case because it's before 9:32. So I saw that it was dumping, and sometimes Tesla goes pretty strongly one way or the other. And then as soon as it starts to slow down, I'm watching it and I'm placing the sell. All right. So so there you go. That placed, and the gain hasn't showed up yet. So I'm watching again. Now I'm ready to place a call because it was looking like it was headed back the other direction. So we're at 9:33. I can do market orders now. And so I'm ready to sell those 5, and boom, I sell them right there when it ran into VWAP, because sometimes it slows down when it hits that indicator. So I sold that as well. All right, so there we go. The money shows up now. We're at 630 bucks, 5 minutes into the day. I place a buy on calls again because it was heading up and it was going right through EMA and VWAP. It did pull back, but that's fine because there's ways, even if it completely reverses on you, if I bought another 5 at that point, I could lower my average. So I try not to do that, though. I try to stay with very low amounts if possible. But right now, I've got 5 calls open that I'm watching, and they're tanking, but not a big deal. All right, so I sold the puts that I had, and then it's turning around and heading back up again. So I'm ready to buy puts, ready to buy calls. Okay, so I've got my 5 calls ready to sell because it was doing pretty well. It was heading toward in the right direction to get rid of them. And then, of course, it reversed on me. But again, it's not time to panic. It's no big deal. We're going to get out of them, no problem. So I'm ready to buy 5 more at this point. Am I going to have to buy 5 more so I can average down? Sometimes I have lines across the screen so I know where my break even is. In this particular case, I did not. But looks like I didn't need to buy 5 more, so it's heading back up. And once again, this is after the fact that I'm narrating this video. I still didn't get out of it, and it reversed on me again. No big deal. So there, I bought another 5. Now that averages me down halfway from where I was to where the stock was at the moment I bought them. Makes it much easier to get out profitably. They'll create a wash sale, meaning that 5 of my shares lose money and 5 make money, but overall, all right, you end up making money overall. It can mess with taxes and everything, so you should talk to an accountant about that. Just so you know, again, this is not legal or financial advice in any way, shape, or form. Just showing what I do. All right, so the 5 puts I can sell now and get out of those. That made me another 118, so I'm at 1,400 for the day. Watching again and thinking about some more calls here. It looks like I've still got 5, so I'm ready to sell those calls as it's moving up. Now it's going to hit some resistance, and so those where the stock had bought and sold a number of times is resistance, but it busted through, and so I took what I could get. I wasn't waiting around to see if it was going to turn back on me. All right, and that made me another 258. Don't get greedy is the rule there. You get greedy, and this is, see, if I would have stayed in it, it'd have been going right back down again. So take what I can get. I can always make more later. All right, so I'm buying 5 more calls because it was hesitating as it was coming down. And a lot of times when it hits EMA, it's going to reverse or at least slow down, have trouble getting through. Sold those 5 calls. So let's talk about some of the indicators. You'll still see these buys and sells going on in the background, but I have 2 charts up. I've got a 1-minute chart and a 5-minute chart. All right, so the one on the left is the 1 minute chart. You can see it says 1 minute, and then the chart on the right is the 5 minute chart. Now, MACD kind of is a great indicator to use. You can read what that is online, but MACD right now is showing a downward trend. Okay, so there, I bought puts. It's showing a downward trend. You can see that it doesn't matter if MACD on the 1 minute is positive or negative. What matters is the trend. So on the 1 minute, it matters that it's going up. That's how I look at it. That's just the way I do it. I also keep an eye on the news. So the news, you can put it on positions or headlines. I put it on positions, so it's telling me about the positions I have. All right. Now, that's the difference. MACD on the 5 minute, as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't matter what direction it's pointing. If it's down, then that's an indicator to me that the stock is going to be going down. All right, so that is what we call a bearish signal. Okay, and then, so that's the difference between the two. So there is also volume. If you look at the volume, you sometimes can see that like high volume will indicate that the stock is going up, and low volume sometimes indicates that it's coming down. Not always, but it's easier for people to move the stock down when the volume is low. So that's another indicator that I pay attention to. So you can see the volume. I'm just thinking about the 1 minute volume, really. Now, RSI, another great indicator. You'll see on future videos that I do have RSI up on the 1 minute as well. Whichever direction the very end of RSI is pointing is going to be the indicator. All right, so for me, RSI on the 5 minute here is pointing upwards a little bit. So we've got a couple things going on. I review everything all at one time. So when I'm making a decision as to whether it's going to go up or down, I'm looking at MACD on the 1 minute was trending up at the time. MACD on the 5 minute was definitely very positive. RSI on the 5 minute pointing upwards. So that was an indication that it is going up. Okay. Now these indicators do not work 100%. But when I've got all four, and like I said, RSI will be on the 1 minute on future videos. When I've got all four of them pointing up, that's a pretty good indication that it's going to go up. Now, the biggest indicator, though, is going to be, in my opinion, not stock advice, just what I do, that the speed at which the candles are moving up or down, when the candles start to slow their roll going up, then it's likely that it's going to be a reversal coming up very shortly. And when they're really zooming, and even when they're just chopping just a tiny bit back and forth, you can see that the candle kind of goes up a little faster and down a little slower. Up a little faster, down a little slower. That would be a bullish signal to me, an upward signal. So I would use that. So a $2,000 day is my goal each day, and was able to get there on the 9th. Please like and subscribe, and you can see what I do in the future, but do not be confused. This is not financial or legal or any type of advice. This is for entertainment purposes only.